So my weeks consist of running from set to set, from gig to gig, to living out my literal dream. However, my life can become a mess. So on the weekends, I try to, work out and eat well and just get my life organized for the week until an audition pops up, which makes me feel a little bit like this, but equally like this. So this is what I do when I get a night before audition. This is how I practice. Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. Sundays are typically the day that I try to get my life together. In my past life, there was no acting work on Sundays, but I got an EcoCast on Actors Access very late last night about an audition today at 1:36 p.m. It came in at 10:52 p.m. last night. Said that they're not accepting self-tapes or anything like that, like you have to attend the audition. So here we are. I did practice the sides a little bit last night, but I'm gonna do some more intensive practice this morning. But yeah, basically I kind of wanted to show you guys what I do when I get a last minute audition, how I prep for it, things like that. So yes, it is currently 7:30 a.m. on a Sunday. My audition's at 1:36. Let's get going. Okay, so honestly, for me, my mechanism is always just to start off by reading it over a million times. I read it over once, just in silence, and then I read out my lines a million times, just so I can understand what is going on in the scene. And also this helps me to memorize it just kind of naturally. Okay, so if you're an actor and you're in acting classes, they teach you all about backstory and coming up with your character's why and blah, blah, blah. But when you have an audition like this and it's super last minute, you're obviously not going to be able to create a whole 10-page backstory on your character. This has to be kind of a quick thing. If you guys want a super in-depth breakdown on a script analysis, that is a video I plan on doing because I've gotten asked to do that before. Now I'll give you guys kind of my quick shortened one for an audition. So I always just start off by reading it over, obviously, so I know what's going on in the scene. Who am I? Where am I? What time is it? What do I want? Why do I want it? How will I get it? And what must I overcome to get what I want? So these are kind of things that I just think about as I'm reading through the scene, and I think about my character's perspective on it. What do they want? Who are they? All of those things. Maybe if you tried a little harder. I'm not trying to be... Coffee is what gets me through these days. Pros. Kind of a girl. I'm not fully ready yet after I do my little W's. So I'm actually going to church right now, and that's because my next tip is to not completely alter your life for an audition if you don't need to. Because I think that by canceling everything, and then it's 5 hours before your audition, you're all ready, you know your lines, you know your stuff, but it's 5 hours ahead of it, I think you can just kind of stress yourself out, or at least that's for me. I know that that's how I work. So I don't like to alter my life if I don't have to. But for example, I was gonna do meal prep and grocery shopping and have to move some of that stuff to tomorrow, and that's okay, but that's because I have to change that stuff. But church this morning at 10 a.m. when my audition's at 1:30, I can still make it. I'm not going to alter that part of my life for no reason because of an audition, Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Especially if this is a long-term thing for you, you want this to be your career. Yeah, anyway. I did want to say, because I know I kind of left off earlier, so hi guys, this is Future Sophie jumping back in with a tip on how I study scripts. So after I kind of answer the W's, I then jump into trying to memorize it. And so the way that I do this is literally just by reading it over and over and over. I don't have any secret memorization technique. I do kind of do it in chunks. So I'll start off by memorizing my first 3 lines. Once I know that I have those down pat, then I add in the next 3 lines, and then I'll go through all 6 lines, and then I'll add in. I do that is because I can do that very quick. That's obviously the goal. If you have a night before or a day of audition, you want to be able to do things fast. So that's why I do that. I've relatively done that, relatively know my lines. I will do a voice memo on my phone of the other person's lines, because normally it's a 2-person scene, and then I will start practicing with that voice, so that way somebody's actually reading the lines to me, and I'll start working on reacting to those lines and just thinking how what this person's saying makes me feel, just kind of really embodying the character. But yeah, obviously you can't get too deep, breaking down the character and diving deep into their headspace, method actor, that's quite difficult if you just got it the night before. So those are just a couple of things that I like to do that help me to feel more comfortable with the material and feel more prepared going in. Hey guys, it's currently 1, so I'm here about 30 minutes before, which honestly, I would say get there at least 30 minutes before. Angeles parking, you just never know. Those of you who are newer to acting, don't know much about it, whenever you go on an audition, you should bring your headshot and your resume, and you should have them printed out to 8x10 paper and stapled together. That's a pretty industry standard that I feel like I've heard lots and lots and lots of people say, because you know how I talk about contradicting advice in the industry all the time, but that is something consistent. I do hear people talk about the 8x10 headshot resume often. Friends, so before I went in, I forgot to tell y'all, but I was adding a little bit more makeup just because at most auditions, they're videotaping you while you're auditioning. So I usually go for natural makeup, just because, I don't know, if those of y'all know, like the camera just washes you out and stuff like that. So for me, I just feel more confident if I have makeup on. You don't need to. Make sure you walk in looking like your headshot, because the reason they're calling you in is because of your headshot. This like waiting room, sometimes the waiting rooms are awful, and it's just like, girls, it just feels tense. Like the times that I've tried to make conversation, it's just really awkward and nobody wants to talk, which I understand, everybody's nervous and stuff like that, but I'm just saying some of them are super awkward and super tense, but this one was actually really chill. The girl that was kind of overseeing the waiting room was super chill. We actually knew each other, so yeah, that just always helps you to feel really, really relaxed. And then it ended up just being a super chill audition. Him and I talked a lot about like my regular life and like my day job, and that's always a good sign. Just because obviously if they're going to have you in their project, they want to know you're like a cool person. So it's definitely a good sign if they're like taking an interest in you. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yes. Okay, but yeah, like I said, up with my audition, I'm going to pick up some more drill pieces for a photo shoot I'm doing on Tuesday. Gonna go for a nice walk, call my grandma. Love a chill little Sunday. So I think that's all I have for you guys for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something from this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Peace.